Hey Stitch Cuties, I'm Julie with Stitches of Love Quilting, and it's day 141 of Stitch 365. Today I've been asked to talk to you a little bit about the different kinds of flosses that you can use for your stitcheries, with embroidery stitcheries or cross stitching. And we like to use different threads, but I have a favorite right now that I've been using. But let me first tell you, I think everybody knows about DMC floss. That's one that's been around a long time and been so easily available to everyone. It comes on those little skeins with the little black papers around the ends, and you basically pull it off and measure how much you want, and then it's 6 strands per chunk of thread that you pull off. And so we would typically separate that out and use, like maybe on a linen that I was stitching, I would use 2 strands of DMC. Or sometimes 3. Your designer usually would tell you backstitch, sometimes you use just 1, whatever. So at any rate, on the there's also a thread called what we commonly refer to as fancy floss, and those are basically hand-dyed threads from different companies that make the hand-dyed. This sample that I have right here is from Classic Colorworks, and it's called Sunset. It's absolutely beautiful floss. It has, you probably can't see this from here, but there is some variation in this. There's some areas that are a little bit lighter and some that are a little bit darker. It's not a consistent depth of color all the way through on each area of the strand of floss, whereas you're like the DMC, if you get the, say, the DMC red, it's like red all the way through. This fancy floss has a little bit of variation, which can give you a lot of fun techniques that you can do when you're stitching on your projects. However, it does still come just like the other floss with 6 strands in there, so you cut off your length and then you pull out 2 strands and you rethread your needle that way. What we like to use, and is becoming more common with cross stitch, we use the Silky 12-weight petitables. Now it comes on this nice little spool, and it is the equivalent of 2 strands of floss, so therefore you just pull it off, you cut it, you thread your needle, you're ready to stitch. You don't have to rethread, separate the strands and then thread your needle. Another beautiful thing about this, it's so handy to carry around with you, is you can just wrap it up. The little top of the spool pops up, and the bottom does too, and you just wrap your little thread around here. Boom, nice, neat, and tidy to keep up with. These are on this type of thing. The skeins from other companies, come with the little bands around them. So I'm finding this to be very easy to carry around with me in my little project bag. These do come with a sticker on the top that has the number of the floss on it, and now they've just recently started, due to customer request, I believe, to print the number of the floss on the actual tube, so it's never going to come off. Sometimes these little stickers might have come off, but at any rate, if you get a spool that doesn't have the number printed on the side, all you got to do is write with a little tiny marker on here and it'll stay. But these have been so great, and we are enjoying them so much with our cross stitch and our embroidery, and I hope that you'll like them too. Also, fancy floss or DMC. Cosmo is a great one. There's tons of flosses. So, happy stitching.